So the Sixers looked very impressive in their first preseason performance, but going even further, this team is just vastly improved. Today we'll look at Andre Drummond draining threes because apparently he's turned into a sniper. Also, Nick Nurse talks about the importance of having a role player like Caleb Martin on the squad. He also mentions a young guy in Ricky Council IV who apparently looks like a completely different guy this season, and Tyrese Maxey took it upon himself to mentor a Sixers rookie. We'll talk about it all, but of course, welcome into Philly Take with RB. Do me a favor, go on down below, hit that like button if you enjoy this content, and hit that red subscribe button to help us on our road to 40,000 subscribers. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this one, and I want to start off with Coach Rico Hines, okay? Coach Rico! Shout out to the Rico Hines runs. He went and reposted my tweet saying that the league is not ready for Joel Embiid this season. If you're not following me on Twitter, be sure to go do that right now. But if you want to just see how many weird Embiid haters there are, like just go down the thread of this post. Look at all the quote tweets. There are so many people preying on the downfall of Joel Embiid, of Paul George, of the 76ers. And to be honest, feed us with it. I love it. I love it. This team is going to prove people wrong this season, and I can't wait to see how it all gels together. Also today at practice, Sixers coach Nick Nurse talks about the rebounding. You know what coaches do? You know what good coaches do? They emphasize the little things. They emphasize the fundamentals. Nick Nurse is going to have this team ready to rebound, to inbound passes, to, late game situation stuff. All of it is honed in on because Nick Nurse is one of the best coaches in the NBA. And I'll say it again, he's the best coach in Philadelphia right now. They asked him about the Sixers rebounding and how it helps their emphasis on pace. Nick Nurse said they did 3 rebounding drills per day at training camp, and he liked how the Sixers did that in the area versus the Breakers. So again, the Sixers came out and they played a bunch of JV guys, and they made the Breakers come all the way here just to get smacked. Sixers beat them by 50 plus, but they honed in on the little things. I thought everybody did their job against the Breakers. I liked how everybody played. The biggest winners for me were probably Jared McCain, Reggie Jackson, and maybe Yabu. I thought all those guys played well, but there were so many. I mean, you could even say Maxey. He's not even a winner in that game to me because I already know he's going to be a superstar, but everybody came out, executed. It'll be interesting to see how they do against other NBA talent this coming weekend, but Sixers did their job, and Nick Nurse is honing in on the drill. So very happy to have him as a coach, and in year 2, I expect him to add more elements to this team. Now, question of the day for Sixer Nation, all right? How did Drummond learn to shoot before Ben Simmons? This is a completely honest question. A lot of people were talking about this on Twitter as well. Andre Drummond the other night hit a 3 from the corner, and apparently he's actually been, wait for it, working on his shot. Andre Drummond is going to be able to shoot this season. Andre Drummond can shoot threes. I never thought I would utter those words. Calls himself the best rebounder of all time. Came in when the game was completely different. But you know what he did? He adapted so that his career can be prolonged. Take notes, some of these other players, including Ben Simmons. So we're going to take a look at Andre Drummond and how good his three-point shot looks in just a second. But before we do that, I got to give a shout out to BetUS. Go ahead and check them out right now, betus.com. You can get a 150% deposit match bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 and a 125% bonus on your next 2 by using the code YouTube150. They have all your odds from NFL to MLB playoffs to NBA stuff. Go ahead and put odds on the Sixers to win the chip because they are going all the way this season. The Sixers are coming. They are going to be here, and they are going to be the hottest topic all season long because people are not going to like how good this team really is. Just a likable group. And like I said, I can't wait to see how it all gels. And right now, my favorite odd on BetUS for this season is Nick Nurse, Coach of the Year. I think he can win the award again. We just talked about how he emphasizes the fundamentals. Plus 900, really good odds. Go ahead and check it out right now on BetUS. Let's get back to it. Andre Drummond at practice today. Shout out to Sam DiGiovanni for recording this. Shooting threes from the top of the arc. It's practice, but every single make I've seen has been a perfect swish. It's absolute poetry. When you work on your game, when you want to be an NBA player for a long time, you do what it takes. Look at Andre Drummond. That form is clean. I don't want to hear any excuses for any other player that can't shoot. Take one off season. Get in the gym. Hire a shooting coach like KJ Martin said he did. Learn how to shoot. Learn how to shoot. We went through it with Simmons, Thibault, and others as well. There is no excuse anymore. If you got a big man like Andre Drummond doing this, I think he's going to be knocking down threes this season. He can actually shoot free throws now as well. We saw that at training camp. Man, I'm so happy to have Drummond back on this team. He's going to be so reliable and just be a guy that can step in if necessary whenever Joel goes down or whenever he needs somebody to come in and just play some valuable minutes. And he's going to be able to space the floor. It's insane. Let's take a look at Paul George working on some of his pull-up threes after Sixers practice today, getting some work in with the assistant coaches. PG coming off his screen, that's money every single time. First option, second option, third option, doesn't matter. PG's going to show up, and he's going to get the job done. He also looks to be in good shape, by the way. Here's Caleb Martin, KJ Martin, and Eric Gordon getting some threes up at Sixers practice. Are the Sixers actually going to have depth when it comes to the wings? When it comes to shooters? I'm excited, man. I think Caleb Martin's going to be a dog. I think KJ Martin is going a little bit under the radar. I know he got paid a lot of money. They're using him as a trade chip, but I mean, KJ said he improved this offseason and hired a shooting coach trying to work on that three ball. Then you got Eric Gordon out there in the corner splashing down, just a guy who's been around the game a long time. I said this a week ago, but I really believe now they know how to win. That, you know, not everybody has won here, but they've brought in guys who have been very close to the moment and already have a guy or two that has been to the moment and won. And they're going to give a lot of knowledge to some of these younger guys. That way they don't get to these moments and tense up, you know, and get all scared. So can't wait to see how it goes. But speaking of Caleb Martin, he talked today to the media and he gave a lot of praise to Tyrese Maxey. He says, quote, he's a dog. He's consistent. He comes in every day. He works hard. Maxey just signed a new contract. A lot of guys could take their foot off the gas. I feel like he probably put it on even more. He's just dedicated to his craft. It's really such a huge thing to be hearing the vets say this about a young guy like Maxey. I know he's been in the league 5 years now. This is his 5th year, but you know, to hear some of these other older guys who have more wisdom, who have more experience, say this about Maxey, it just speaks a lot of volumes. And I actually said this as well. I've been saying it for weeks. Maxey's not the type of guy who's just going to say, oh, I got paid. I don't have to get better. I don't have to do anything else for the team. He wants to be there. He wants to continue to be the best in the game, and he's not satisfied ever at all. And that's my favorite thing about Tyrese Maxey. Now, Caleb Martin also got some praise himself from Coach Nick Nurse. He said that he has a, quote, really high basketball IQ, and he asks good questions as well. Martin says, I'm just the type that I don't like to leave any stone unturned. That is how you approach sports. That's how you approach the game, man. You want to be a glue guy? You want to be a guy that does a little bit of everything and just impacts winning? He sounds like the perfect prototype for a Nick Nurse system. So really some great impressions from Caleb Martin so far. We'll see if he starts. We'll see if he doesn't. But man, just a lot of likable guys. You think about Oubre and Kyle Lowry and even Reggie Jackson, who looked good the other night. And even Jared McCain has been making a big impression on some of these vets so far. So like I said, a lot of likable guys, and there's going to be a lot of competition as we head into the season. Because another guy right here, Ricky Council IV, was asked about where he has improved most over the last season. Quote, knowing the game, knowing where to be, and just being comfortable out there, not having to overthink. Then they asked Nick Nurse about it. He says, Ricky seems like a whole different person than he was a year ago. And that's a good translation for, hey, Ricky, you're going to have a huge opportunity this season, and we're going to be putting you in there with some of these veteran lineups. So, Ricky, if you're ready to go and you show a little bit of that flash you had at the end of last season, plus more, I mean, you're going to be an integral piece of this bench. So, shout out to Ricky Council. Every guy's improving. We haven't heard really anybody where like their stock has dropped over the course of training camp or so far here in the preseason. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of games. And we'll end it off with Tyrese Maxey, once again, just being such a leader, being a star, and we'll hear what he did in terms of mentoring Jared McCain.
I saw from Jared.
Yeah, he was good. Made shots.
We talked a little bit about just impacting the body defensively. It's crazy me saying that, but yeah, he was good, man. He was aggressive, wasn't nervous, wasn't scared, played great.
Tyrese Maxey gives some huge praise to Jared McCain, and he says he called himself in the position of being a mentor defensively. We know Maxey's improved, especially as an on-ball defender the last couple years. Has some work to do, but there's something for him to get better at. I think he's going to complete the task, and he was helping Jared McCain, teaching him, going through some of the things on the defensive side. He even says it's crazy that he's here at this point. Keep in mind, this guy's only 23 years old. I think the sky is the limit for Tyrese. I think, again, my bold take, he's going to be in a little bit of MVP combos this year and be a top 15 player in the NBA. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe not. Give me your thoughts down below in the comment section. As always, appreciate everybody for tapping in. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.